which is a play about the circus. You know, Raymond wanted to run away from home and be a clown in the circus
I did.
he was a little kid. And Amy's Attic was his tribute to the circus and dreaming about belonging to the circus. And you sold that play, right? And
Yep.
it's popular.
Yeah, it gains popularity, you know, every year. I mean, they never tell you who's doing your play. They send you
Anchor Publishing.
Anchorage
Yeah,
Press.
that's right.
Yeah.
And you know, in that play, what was so impressive about seeing it was, I remember you had, like the circus, you had 3 rings. You had 3 rings of people performing.
Yeah.
The clowns were doing their thing, and over here they were doing some other thing. It was so impressive.
Yeah.
And there was, how many clowns did you have? 30?
It was a
I don't
cast
know
of,
how many.
It was a cast of thousands. I had the energy then to do that kind of thing.
And you had Siamese twins, and you had the what? What was
Well,
the,
let me just tell you about that. See, after having coached gymnastics for years and years and years, and coming from it as an acrobat, when I read, and this is what always kind of makes me angry about the way we were treated, like we had no business doing things. You know, I was reading about the Russian theater, the classical training of the Russians, and how they trained their actors in acrobatics and juggling and the circus arts as part of their theater. That was what you had. That was what you had to do. And so here we had a theater company in conjunction with a whole gymnastics facility. And so all of those kids that were doing Amy's Attic were actually, they were acrobatics, and some of them were really good. They were dancers. And so it was that brief shining moment. And see, I've always believed that you create theater with what you have. You know, you look at what's around you, who the people are, and that's how you create it. And that was what we had. So I used all of those kids to write that play to my advantage. And now it's done. I know there's a company in, I think it's Alabama. They do that play every year as a production workshop. They've been doing it for years.
Well, at least 3 productions have been done. You did how many? And somebody else did one here in the Valley.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite of your children's plays, because it's not only very colorful, but it's funny. The Siamese twins, they're so funny.
Octavia the Octopus Woman,
Oh, yeah.
who was also stuck in the 60s. She was.
And then you got peanut vendors, and who are some of the other characters?
Oh, you had Shayna the Wild Woman.
Oh yeah, she was another great
Who
one.
would say, well, I don't see anything wild about her, and then she'd scream at the top of her lungs and run around the stage.
Oh, kids just love playing these roles. Can you imagine playing the Siamese twin in the circus?
And that was Anne and Fran, and they were, I think that they were I had them of some Norwegian descent. So they got to play it with these Norwegian accents too, which is a lot of fun.
The girl that got to play the wild woman who had to be caged. Oh dear,
caged.
she loved her part. I remember one that really loved her part.
Well, what was fun about that is the second act, she'd be in her cage, and we'd get the kids out of the audience to come and she would be asleep. We'd say, well, come on, kids, you can come up and look. And then she would wake up and go wild and open the cage door, and these little kids would just go, ah! They would just be horrified. I thought that was so great. There's probably some kids out there that were traumatized by it, but it was a great time.
Raymond, won't you talk about Skimpies? Or do you want to talk about Skimpies?
Let's leave Skimpies for another day.
You're not up to Skimpies
But Skimpies
today.
was an important
People,
part of
can't you see? We could go on and on. I mean, we will go on and on, because we're going to cover.
Well, I mean, if you counted
playwrights.
the years we were in operation, I would say that there were probably 80 new plays.
Yes. And then you went on writing plays after.
I've never stopped.
He's never stopped.
It's the only relationship I've ever had that worked is in the theater, and the one relationship I've had that continues to have its passion.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Because you brought original theater and playwrights out of the woodwork in Phoenix. That will never be forgotten. They had their day.
Yeah.
And that's something that you gave a lot of people, including me.
Well,
with
I
Fritz
think
and Saturn.
I think it. I think that's always kind of sad in retrospect. I mean, we all do. It's human nature to go back to a certain period and say, look at what we had, and we didn't know that we did. We didn't know that we had that, and I don't know. And it's not. It's not rocket science. It's not landing a man on the moon, but we did affect some people. I honestly believe that.
And Raymond is still doing a play. He's got his latest show. He's been taken on the road. Cowboy. So we've got more to look forward to another day. Thank you, Raymond.
Yeah, I just went and looked at some spaces today. I'm like
He's going to do theater.
That's all I know how to do.
He said he's a little tired.
I'm unemployed, but I don't know if you've got a space. I'll come and do theater in your house. Okay. Bye.